Are you a student planning to come into the UK? Or are you already in school in the UK and you don't know what your fate is going to be after the end of your course? This video is for you. Please stay tuned as I have a lot to explain in this video. Thank you very much once again for coming back to my channel. My name is Tola, and for my new viewers, thank you very much for coming. Please remember to put a like button and the subscribe button before the end of this video so you don't forget if you find this video valuable. So there's been a lot going around about the international students routes, the graduate visa routes. There's been a major shift in the cutting down of legal net migration in the UK since the end of last year, 2023. And one of the measures put in place was to stop the care workers from bringing in their dependents, and also the undergraduate students and the master students from bringing in their dependents, as well as the PhD students are still privileged to bring in their dependents. A lot of suggestive things has been going around about the graduate visa route. This has made the Home Secretary, James Cleverly, to write to the Migratory Advisory Team to look into this route to see if it's being abused and not being used as a backdoor to legal migration. The panel was set up in the month of March to do their research and give their feedback on the 14th of May. Within this period of time, there's been several backlash between the universities and the UK government, and the university has suggested that if there be a crackdown on the graduate visa route, it might affect the economy and the educational sector. On the 14th of May 2024, a feedback was given from the Migratory Advisory Team to the Home Secretary's desk. Please stay with me as I share the feedback given from the Migratory Advisory Team to the UK government's Home Secretary. You can't afford to go now because this is the catch. From the gov.uk website, as you can see, and this is the letter to the Home Secretary on the rapid review of the graduate routes, updated on the 14th of May. Says, Dear Home Secretary, I am pleased to inform you that we have published the Migratory Advisory Committee rapid review of the graduate routes, a copy of which has been provided to your office. Our report provides insight on the 5 questions posed in your commissioning letter. We have not found evidence of widespread abuse on the graduate routes. So one of the feedbacks is that there has been no abuse discovered on this route, because this was the purpose why the Home Secretary wrote to the Migratory Advisory Team to investigate if it's been abused or not. And the feedback is saying now that they've not found any widespread evidence of abuse on the graduate route. Says, we will define abuse as deliberate non-compliance with immigration rules, and we conclude that the route is not undermining the integrity and quality of the UK higher education system. However, we have reason to believe that some agents and sub-agents recruiting international students are mis-selling UK higher education and exploiting students in the process. We expect the impact on public finances of graduate visa holders on the route to be small but positive, as most appear to work, are young, and have no recourse to public funds. So during their investigation, they've discovered that some students are being exploited through this route by some agents, and further into this letter, they've given some recommendation to the government on what they suggest about this. Having laid out in full our answers to these 5 questions in our report, we provide 3 sets of recommendations. This is the first recommendation. We recommend retaining the graduate route in its current form. We found that the graduate route is broadly achieving the objectives set out by the Home Office, while also supporting government education policy as outlined in the International Education Strategy. The changes to the rules on student dependents, which were implemented in January and are in effect a change to the dependent rules of the graduate route, will likely have a significant effect on graduate route usage going forward, That's the new changes that was implemented in January, that students should no longer bring in their dependents. That's the undergraduate and the master students. So they are saying now that it's going to bring a significant effect on the graduate route. And I would say, to the best of my understanding, it's that since we don't have many students coming in again because they are no longer allowed to bring in their dependents, so we're not going to have so many people using this graduate route. While initial data suggests these changes are already substantially reducing international student numbers, we believe their full impact should be assessed before considering further changes. Implementing additional restrictions or closing the route now could risk overcorrection. So they are also saying that they don't suggest that this route should be closed. This is not being abused because it could risk overcorrection. Giving international student fees help make up the financial deficits that universities have from teaching domestic students and research. Any significant restriction to the route should only be considered once the structural funding issues in the higher education sector have been addressed. This speaks to the broader point that any changes to migration policy will likely involve trade-off across other areas of government policy. The second recommendation given by the Migratory Advisory Team says, we recommend that the government establishes a mandatory registration system for international recruitment agents and sub-agents, which encompasses the quality control in the voluntary agent quality framework, consulting with the devolved administrations to ensure UK-wide coverage. We recommend that universities should be required to publish data on their spend on recruitment agents and the number of international students recruited through such means annually as a starting point to improve disclosure. While most agents play an important role in promoting the UK and in supporting international students, we found some examples of bad practice from certain agents. Our recommendation should help ensure that the quality of UK higher education is upheld and students are protected from exploitation. So they are saying now that so many recruitment agents who assist international students to come through this route are exploiting students, and they are recommending that the universities should have more data about how they spend on the recruitment agents, and also to note the number of international students that is being recruited through them, just to monitor and to see that the students are not being exploited. And this is the last recommendation that was given, which is the last paragraph, paragraph 3. Says, we provide several recommendations on data and monitoring for the route and the wider immigration system, which are aligned in our report. Firstly, we recommend that the government should only open new migration routes or make significant policy changes when it has a clear plan for how it will collect and monitor data to assess the effectiveness of the route against its objectives and understand wider impacts. We also recommend that the Home Office introduces a requirement for universities to provide it with confirmation of the course outcome, example, class of degree on the student route, in addition to the confirmation that the course has been successfully completed, which is currently required. Wow. The good news is that the Migratory Advisory Team has recommended that the graduate route should be retained in its current form, as no abuse has been discovered on this route. Thank you very much. Please remember to subscribe to my channel so that I'll be giving you further updates on anything that arises concerning this route. Thumbs up. Thank you for staying till this time.